I'm a part of the poem. From Starbucks, the people bringing safety to your door. From Starbucks, stopping crime and making peace for them before. From Starbucks, Liberia, from the center to interior. From Starbucks, keeping us safe, the stopping crime for all of us. From Starbucks, the people bringing safety to your door. From Starbucks, stopping crime and making peace for them before. From Starbucks, Liberia. On the center to interior, keeping us safe, the stopping down for all of us.
Constable Liberia is here for you. Remember, you see it, you report it. This is a message from your own self, Omen Samsaya.
From Starbucks, the people bringing safety to your door. From Starbucks, stopping crime and making peace for them before. From Starbucks, Liberia. From the center to interior, from Starbucks, keeping us safe, the stopping down for all of us. From Starbucks, the people bringing safety to your door. From Starbucks, stopping crime and making peace for them before. From Starbucks, Liberia. On the center to interior, from Starbucks, keeping us safe, the stopping ground for all of us.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of craft beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with four different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athletes and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start the stop. Come on, 2024. Put it to Egypt.
Good morning, a very pleasant good morning wherever you are joining our broadcast this morning. We'd like to welcome you to the program from the pre news. I don't know when I'm not hearing myself well, and this thing is
Yeah,
on the
I was
highest.
having similar problem, but I had to use this. I don't know what's happening to
Let me check this out
the
and see.
smart card.
Yeah. Well, I think I will have to manage, but it's good to be here this morning on the Wednesday edition of the program from the pre news. My name is Esther, and I'm glad that I'm here this morning to share my own view on national issues in our country. Good morning, Wendell.
Good morning to you, Esther. Good morning to our many listeners and followers. Welcome to the April 30, 2025 edition of the program from the Print News. Today is Wednesday, and this is the midweek presentation. And Esther and I will be sharing with you the online versions of Front Page Africa and the Daily Observer newspaper.
Mm.
So, those of you who are watching, those of you who are following via your receivers, we want to welcome you to this edition of the show. Let me say good morning to you, Michael Jiwe, popularly known as DJ Michael T. He's watching all the way there in the city of Hospitality, Buchanan. And also, Bunky Mason of the Morovia City Corporation is following. My friend and brother there in the USA, Theo Phyllis and Sampon Junior is also following this edition of the show. Isaac K. and Toba is following Haja Fatah Sayan. All of you following the show, want to welcome you to this edition of the print news. So, too many things happening in the world and too many things happening in Liberia, but our concern is about Liberia because this is where we are. And so we are putting our all into our country. So we will get to this story. It says President Waka is a dictator, claims US based Liberian journalist. A US based Liberian journalist, Moses D. Sandy, says President Joseph Nima Bouaka is a dictator and his autocratic tendencies are endangering Liberia's political governance, peace, and stability of the country. Mr. Sandy is the national president emeritus of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, AJA. He says President Bouaca's persistent disregard for the rule of law in matters involving compliance with the National Code of Conduct by political appointees, tenure positions, and his recent flagrant disregard for the Supreme Court of Liberia reaffirmation of the speakership of Fonati, that is Councillor J. Fonati Kofa of the House of Representatives, is troubling and unfortunate. On April 23, 2025, the Supreme Court ruled on Speaker Kofa's bill of information, which was filed with the court in December 2024. Then the court recognized and emphatically declared that he remains the legitimate and constitutionally elected Speaker of the House of Representatives. The court also nullified the self-styled majority bloc so-called election of Representative Richard Cohen as Speaker of the House of Representatives. The court said Cohen's election was unconstitutional because the electoral process was marred by violations of Article 33 and 49 of the Liberian Constitution. Moreover, the court ruled that all actions taken by the renegade lawmakers in the House of Representatives in contravention of Article 33 and 49 of the Liberian Constitution are illegal. Despite the court's unambiguous ruling, President Bouaka on April 24, 2025, in a nationwide address, acknowledged the ruling, but opted to literally disobey the ruling. He disappointingly declared, fellow Liberians, our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We intend to vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with the quorum that will ensure the full functioning of our government. The president said his administration will continue to conduct official business with Representative Cohen and his cronies, even though the so called quorum or majority bloc has no constitutional backing. In a press release issued on April 29, 2025, journalist Sandy said President Bouaka refusal to heed and enforce the ruling of the Supreme Court set a bad precedent for the sustenance of Liberian democracy. He said the president has no discretional power as to how to enforce the Supreme Court ruling, citing Article 65 of the Liberian Constitution. Mr. Sandy said it is imperative for the president to respect and enforce the court's decision because rulings or judgments from the Supreme Court are final and binding with no avenue for appeal. Article 66 of the Constitution also stipulates that the Supreme Court is the ultimate authority on constitutional matters, and compliance with rulings from the courts is not optional. The Liberian journalists record that on January 22, 2024, when Mr. Bouaka was inaugurated as president of Liberia, he took an oath and pledged to support, uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. But in less than 2 years of political stewardship, the president has chosen to renege on those sacred commitments. He said President Bouaca's defiance is reminiscent of Liberia's ugly past, where some autocratic former presidents, including the late Samuel Kayando and now imprisoned Charles Taylor, arrogated laws unto themselves and abused the rights of Liberians with impunity. He recalled that beginning December 24, 1989 to 2003, Liberia experienced successive civil wars that reportedly claimed more than 250,000 human lives and the destruction of properties worth millions of US dollars due to misrule, social injustices, and unwarranted groundstanding, such as the ill advised decision taken by President Bouaca and his surrogates of the Unity Party and the House of Representatives. He said since October 17, 2024, when a group of renegade lawmakers of the House of Representatives signed a resolution seeking the removal of Speaker Kofa for reported acts of malfeasance, President Bouaca and his political appointees have brazenly provided moral, monetary, logistical, and political supports for the dethroning of the speakers despite repeated public outcries. Meanwhile, journalist Sandy is calling on Liberians and friends of Liberia to publicly condemn President Bouaca's selfish and irrational decision, which is bent on undermining Liberia's peace and stability. The Liberian journalist said President Bouaca is a terrible leader. Instead of leading as chief executive, he is being led by his cronies and surrogates. But let's leave the story right there. Let's get to more stories here on the online version of the front page Africa newspaper. And this other story has to do with the Female Lawyers Association of Liberia. IFA reaffirms commitment to justice, elects new leadership at 23rd convention. The Association of Female Lawyers of Liberia has reiterated its commitment to strengthening the rule of law and promoting justice across Liberia. The call was made during the organization's 23rd National Convention held over the weekend on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. The convention, held under the theme Together Let's Rise Up to Strengthen the Rule of Law for Justice, brought together key legal and civil society stakeholders. It also marked the re-election, of Councillor Philomena T. Williams as president of IFL for a new term. In her address, Councillor Williams spotlighted critical national concerns, including sexual and gender-based violence, custody rights in divorce cases, and female genital mutilation. She called for stronger collaboration between government institutions, civil society, and international partners to uphold human rights and ensure equal access to justice. IFL remains firmly committed to peace, security, and the protection of human rights in Liberia, said Councillor Williams. We urge all three branches of government, the public, and our civil society partners to support our efforts in ensuring justice for all, highlighting the organization's achievements from 2022 to 2024. Councillor Williams reported that IFA has provided legal aid to over 5,000 individuals, facilitated more than 1,265 mediations, and handled 532 court cases covering rape, domestic violence, child custody, and property rights. All right, so I think we can leave that story right there. Thank you so much, Esther. Esther just brought us the hard copy of the front page Africa newspaper. So I think I can take a story from here before sending controls to Esther. And it says here, let me just jump to the second story. LMB is split over Supreme Court ruling as President Obama faces criticism for bypassing executive members, unilateral and political decision. I'm not aware of that press statement. I'm not in support of that statement. I am not going to own that statement because that statement is a statement of the president of the Liberia National Bar Association, president as an individual and not the LMBA. I advised the president about getting to the executive committee to look at any statement before coming out, and he did not listen but went ahead and issued that statement. So I do not support that statement. And that is all I can say for now. Who is saying this? Oh, it's my cousin. Councillor F. Dwight Lawson, Vice President, Liberia National Bar Association. The LMBA therefore calls on the Supreme Court not to allow this dangerous precedent, which will erode confidence in the governance of Liberia, to remain standing. Finally, the LMBA notes that should the Supreme Court fail to recall and reverse itself, thereby making the 2025 budget illegal, disbursement of salaries and payments made by the executive for goods and services will be illegal, and this will disrupt government operations and undermine the credibility of the state. Some might liken this to criminal subversion of the government. Who is saying this? Councillor Bono M. Vrama, President, Liberia National Bar Association. All right. This man, we all know he's a UPIS. But let's see. Let's get a few lines. Esther, let me just take a few lines and then we'll send controls to you.
Mhm.
The Liberian legal community is in the throes of a credibility crisis after a controversial statement by Councillor Bono of Mvama, president of the Liberia National Bar Association, sparked an internal revolt and sharpened questions over the bar's political neutrality. At the heart of the storm is Vaman's assertion in an April 29 press release that the court overstepped its authority by intervening in the leadership dispute within the House of Representatives. According to Vama, the ruling violates the separation of powers and political question doctrines, arguing that legislative disputes, such as the removal or reinstatement of the Speaker, fall squarely within the legislature's domain. This is simply a violation of the political questions doctrine. The statement read, further warning that the court's decision risks inflating judicial power at the expense of legislative autonomy. The LMBA's objection also targeted the Supreme Court's reading of Article 33 and 49 of the Constitution, particularly its interpretation of quorum and Speaker Kofa's presence during legislative sessions. The bar insisted that the designation of the Speaker as the sole presiding officer, even in the absence of a quorum, appears to overlook the procedural flexibility necessary for legislative operations, and added that the LMB, under such circumstances, is constrained to disagree with the Supreme Court that Speaker J. Fonati Kofa was present and available for legislative business. But while Vama's statement attempted to strike a constitutional tone, it failed to unify the bar. Instead, it exposed deep internal divisions and a growing unease about political bias within Liberia's premier legal body. The first blow came from within the Liberia National Bar Association. Vice President Councillor F. Joa Lawson openly disassociated herself from the statement and questioned its legitimacy. I'm not going to own that statement because that statement is that of the president of the Liberia National Bar Association as an individual and not the Liberia National Bar Association, she said in a message to Front Page Africa. I advised the president about getting to the executive committee, but he did not listen. That internal split was compounded by Vaman's political history. A former Unity Party legislative candidate in Bapulu County who ran on the party's ticket in 2017. Vama critics argued that his political loyalties are now coloring his leadership at the bar. The charge of partisanship, once whispered, has now become public and explicit. Councillor Moriah Yakula Popo, a prominent voice in the legal community, was especially scanting the statement read today is not only disappointing but ridiculous and squarely partisan. She declared, the president of the bar must do the honorable thing and resign if he cannot separate his political commitment to the Unity Party from his duties. She accused Vama of attempting to transform the bar into what she mockingly called the LRBA, Liberian Ruling Bar Association. Yakula Popo, who supported Vama's candidacy for the bar president, expressed disappointment over what she sees as his failure to rise above politics. Esther, let's stop right here and you can grab a few stories from your end and then we can move on with the print news. So, folks,
All right.
that does it for the front page Africa newspaper.
Thank you, Wendell. And like Wendell said, I have on my desk the Daily Observer. We'll quickly run a few lines, a few headlines, and a couple of stories. LNBA accuses Supreme Court of criminal subversion, charge High Court for overacting in House crisis. Imagine.
Hmm.
Well, we see the photograph of the LNBA's president right here. He's right here, Vaughn. Want to take some lines, Wendell?
I
It
just
says,
read that.
okay,
Yeah.
that was what you read. And
Mm.
then we have Liberia, Barbados deepen historic ties as President Bouaga receives letter of credence from Ambassador Bernard Suttner, Barbados first ambassador to Liberia ahead of visit by by the president as Dame Sarah Mason to Liberia in May. But we leave you there. No national ID card, no transaction. Government mandates biometric for all Liberians, foreign nationals, as Bouaga issue Executive Order 147. Well, let's take some lines.
Mhm.
Is that in a move aimed at combating fraud and improving the delivery of public and private services, President Joseph Nima Bouaga Sr. has issued Executive Order number 147, making it mandatory for all Liberian citizens and foreign residents to enroll in the National Biometric Identification System and obtain a national identification card. The executive order, announced through a statement by the National Identification Registry on Tuesday, April 29, 2025, mandates that all citizens and residents, as well as foreign visitors residing in Liberia for 90 days or more, must obtain either a national ID card or a foreigner ID card. These cards will serve as essential credentials for accessing a wide range of government and private sector services, including banking, healthcare, education, and telecommunications. In the executive order, President Bouaga pointed to page 10. Got a completion of the story. Let's run there quickly. We have page 10. Okay, it's right here. The growing challenges of double dipping, illegal immigration, and fraud that have hindered the government's ability to provide essential services and strengthen public institutions. The National Identification Registry was established to address these issues by issuing biometric identification cards to all citizens and foreign residents. The NIR will also work in a close collaboration with the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, which has already enacted regulations requiring the registration of SIM cards through government issued IDs verified on the NIR platform. Under the executive order, the NIR is tasked with enrolling all citizens and residents into the NBRS and ensuring the timely distribution of national ID and foreigner ID cards. The new system is designed to facilitate the identification and verification of individuals across a variety of sectors, including government services, mobile network, registration, banking, and healthcare. The implementation of the NBIS will also allow for seamless collaboration between the central government and private sector entities, helping to reduce fraud, improve revenue collection, and enhance service delivery. President Walker emphasized the importance of ensuring that the database used by the NIR is accessible to all relevant government and private institutions. This includes the ministries such as education, health, internal affairs, and finance, as well as commercial banks, mobile network operators, and other service providers. The integration of the NIR database will help institutions verify identities and improve their efficiency. In recognition of the potential privacy concerns raised by the new system, the executive order stressed that all data collection, storage, and management will comply with Liberia data protection and privacy laws. The executive order referenced the 2011 repeal of the PRC decree number 65, which led to the creation of the NIR and mandates the registry to issue biometric cards containing a unique national identification number. This NIN is to serve as a primary government approved identity number for use in registering births, deaths, passports, immigration documents, bank accounts, driver's license, social security education, and other key services. The National Identification and Registry, which is tasked with the implementation of the National Identification System, has been working on the establishment of the NBIS. The system is designed to combat identity theft, fraud, and illegal immigration, as well as enhance the efficiency of public service delivery and promote national security. The executive order also outlined the responsibilities of both public and private institutions in the implementation process. All ministries, agencies, and private sector entities will be required to adopt policies that mandate the presentation of national ID card or foreign ID cards when accessing services. The NIR will oversee the enforcement of these policies, ensuring compliance across all sectors. The national ID card will serve as primary credential for all citizens and residents to access government services, banking, telecommunications, and other essential services. The NIR will also provide an identity query portal and e-verification platform to enable government ministries and private institutions to verify identities, particularly for processes like background checks and know your customer as the KYC procedure. The implementation of the MBRS is a critical part of the Liberian government broader digital transformation initiative launched in May 2004. This initiative seeks to improve access to government services, enhance the digital economy, and ensure the ICT system across various platforms. The national ID system is also as a foundational requirement for achieving the country's digital economy objectives. We're gonna leave you there and look at more stories on the front page of this paper. UL dismisses accomplice of fraudster Door Cooper, vows to expel troublesome students. And let's come to the back page of the Daily Observer. ALCC ready to take the bull by the horns. Seeks stronger presence in construction sectors. Urges government partners to adhere to the Associations Act. And that's the story there. Finally, for the back page, Christ Embassy Delegate School for Vulnerable Children terms initiated as Beacon of Hope for Less Privileged Kids. So far, Winner, I think these are all of the stories we have from here.
Thank you very much, Esther, for bringing us the hard copy of the Daily Observer newspaper.
Mhm.
Before we go for our break, do we have Gus with us?
Yes.
Right, he do is always driving, but let's recap for those of you who just joining the show. These are the stories we brought you this morning. Right, top stories: strengthening historical ties Barbados ambassador to Liberia, Juliet Barno Sutherland, presents letter of credence to President Bouaka. And this business news taking preventive actions as Salamita Kleber Silva returns to Liberia, reaffirms commitment to health and safety of Liberian employees. And then regional security news, strategic role in regional security. AFRICOM announces Liberia to host 2025 West Africa Logistic Conference, a first for the nation. And these are the big stories we brought to you. Leading human rights organization urged President to renew expiring executive order for War Crimes Court Office as U.S. ambassador meets with office head and justice minister, urging Waka to act urgently. Any executive order adopted for the extension of the office should be replaced by legislation in the shortest delays to ensure a continued and sustainable operation of the office and eventually the War Crimes Court. Renew the executive order ensures sufficient is in place so that the necessary work to establish the court can accelerate. Excerpt from a joint statement issued by a local and international human rights group. And another story here says LMB is split over Supreme Court ruling as President Obama faces criticism for bypassing executive members. Unilateral and political decision. All right, that does it for the front page Africa newspaper. And these are stories we brought to you from the Daily Observer. LMBA accuses Supreme Court of criminal subversion. Chad's High Court for overacting in House crisis. Liberia and Barbados deepen historic ties as President Baka receives letters of credence from Ambassador Barno Sutherland, Barbados' first ambassador to Liberia ahead of visit by Barbadian President Dami Sandra Mason to Liberia in May. And another story here says no national ID card, no transaction. Government mandates biometric for all Liberians and foreign nationals as Bouaka issues Executive Order number 147. And lastly, for the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper, UL dismisses accomplices of fraudster Dor Cooper, vows to expel troublesome students. Let's take you to the back page of the Daily Observer newspaper, ALCC. All right, ALCC ready to take the bull by the horns. Seeks stronger presence in construction sector, urges government and partners to adhere to associations. Christ Embassy dedicate school for vulnerable children, terms initiative as a beacon of hope for less privileged kids. And that's all we can take from the online version of, did I say online? That's the hard copy of the Daily Observer and the front page Africa newspaper. Gus is here. Let's give him the time to greet the audience and then we'll go for our break.
Yeah, good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Liberia. Gus Cormer. Glad to be here.
All right, folks, let's take our break and then when we come back, we'll go straight back to our man, Gus Cormer.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumped until the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athletes and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Gully Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to stop. Someone saying going to 24, put in total each key. Be that living since.
It's about musical. There are crowds in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, don't hold it. Don't tell her in your hands for the rare authority. Well, it can't take your luggage. Crime stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it, I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. I'm a part of the poet. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is here for you. Remember, you see it, you report it. This is a message from your own self, Omen Sam Sign.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Oh, yes, Crime Stoppers Liberia. I will say a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Just before we bring Gus in, let me just recognize a few of my followers. Joyce Wem is watching from Minnesota. Cesar Brople is also watching from Minnesota. Waka PM Tamudu is following from the state of Rhode Island. Bostina Campbell is following. And all of you great people following this show, want to welcome all of you to the print news on Freedom FM 87.9. T. Linus Jiwe is also following. Emmanuel Do is following. James Blama Kamara is following. Gus, let's hear from your end. Gus, you have to unmute your system.
He did.
Where no
You just
sound.
have to get out and come back, I think. Because I don't know.
All right, Gus, just do that so we can have a better reception. All right. So, folks, these things happen. Technical issue is something that happening all of the time. So we're trying to sort it out to hear from our man Gus. But you know, all eyes and ears are now, on the assertion made by the president of the Liberia National Bar Association relative to the Supreme Court ruling.
Mhm.
So we will hear from Gus first, and then right after Gus, we will come in. Gus, let's hear from you. You are good now.
Yeah, thank you. The other man, that guy have no relevance. I don't know if I want to even discuss him. But I think the most important thing that you read today for me is something that me and a lot of people, probably even including the old man Sam Sion, law abiding citizens, all have been yearning for. This is probably the first thing Joseph Boakai has done, the first executive order of national ID card. I truly believe for us to improve even economically without a national ID card, we just can't do much. Um, Wendell, people, you can just put Gus Corma in any search engine. You can see properties that I own. You can see things that I own in this country that I live in. So if I go to get a loan for institution, if I go to write a letter for somebody to support them, affidavit and support all of those things, they don't need to look everywhere. They don't need to call my grandma in Teresa Matan and they person, you know, they man, you know this. No, if we do it correctly, then that's my question: is how are we doing this stuff? If you're gonna do it, people don't show up and just get national ID card. There should be true identification, birth certificate, proof of so and so, residential, and all of those things. If we do it right, we save a lot of money every year when we have elections. NEC don't have to come to you again to tell you this and that. Now, all you have to do now is just run censor every year, and the censors will be ran easily. Mandate also, Mr. President, that every child born in this country, if you do not have a birth certificate, if your parents do not have a take you to get a birth certificate, if the hospital facility does not give you a birth certificate, that child is considered non-citizen of our country. And you will see people will be going lining up to make sure their kids are registered. I was a child that was born in Bunjama. I had every single document from that age on. But those days, it was expected of our families. So today, we're in an electronic age, and it seems like we don't see the importance of this. Every single individual should be able to be registered, have their national identification, use their national identification to register for school, use it to purchase properties. That way we know who is a citizen and who isn't a citizen. Nobody should be able to purchase a land if the Liberian law says Liberian citizen, right? Because according to our law, when they get me if I'm wrong, I don't think foreigners can buy land in our country yet, can they? So, based on that alone, we can use this to be able to solve a lot of our issues. Now we talk about crimes. There will be a database. I see the police trying to see they can stop people for speeding and all this other stuff. Without these things, it's just a fly. That's why when we go after Gregory Comer and then they just say, oh, you guys just against everything we do. No, if you don't do it right, I don't believe in it. Okay? I came from the village. I've learned how to do things. And I will never settle for mediocrity just because somebody said they're doing something. So we're asking the president, great, great move, great executive order from God's Coma, um, and other people in this community that believe this is something that we need. Now, Mr. President, we need to follow through further and make sure that every single detail is followed and adhered to. That the resources needed to do this thing correctly is provided, and then making sure that you are hiring the requisite people that understand how to do this thing, and then being able to control our own database. Because don't just give them the card, have a database that is controlled by us Liberians, so anybody can access it for medical record, for educational record, for all of those things. Thank you. But the other story with a guy going and saying whatever what do you call them,
You mean the
the
guy from
oil
the
association
LNBA?
whatsoever. Yeah, yeah. It's just the Liberian people like to use this word called liquor talk. That's kind of the same thing. For a guy that represents a professional organization, an organization that is sanctioned by the body that you are criticizing, or basically um, being how you call it, I don't know what a better word I can use. I mean, it tells me a lot about his professionalism. Okay, this is a bench that made a decision as it whole. Ain't one person, ain't two person. Okay, this was a decision by the bench. So this man must not have gone to school or don't understand, except he's just trying to maybe gain some favor from Unity Party. But in the end, this saga is going to be over. As we all know, they're doing their negotiations and whatnot. You know, so I just think these people, something that you said is, and hopefully people will know the kind of person you are. Thank you. But National ID card is a great, great move, and I hope we all support
Thank
it.
you. Thank you very much. And those are two serious issues that God spoke about.
Hey,
The
with that, I'm
executive
gonna be
order.
listening. I gotta take a serious call from your boss.
Okay.
All right,
All
bye.
right. So, folks, God spoke about two serious issues. The executive order number 147 by the president. It's a good thing. The national ID card thing is very good for us because I remember prior to the war, we all had, I think I still got my old national ID card. I got it somewhere kept. I would check around the ones we took before the war. I still got that somewhere.
So do you have the ones we've been taking?
The new ones?
Hmm.
No, the new one you mean? I don't
Yeah.
have that.
Why?
All right. I don't have that
Why?
because I didn't have the time to go after it.
So now you will have the time.
Yeah, we have the time. But
It's a must.
Esther, you know the thing about acquiring these things,
Yeah,
the process you have to go through.
I
You
understand.
know, you will go to the place to get your card today. They will tell you system is down. The next day you go there, when you take your card, they will tell you you will have to come back, after weeks and all of that. So, going through all of that, the
Yeah.
process in acquiring, is what matters.
So
But I don't think it's a bad thing though.
as it is now,
Hmm.
is it's gonna be tough because
Mandatory.
it's mandatory, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be tough.
Hmm.
You should expect line and all of that. I
Yeah.
mean, so we just have to be patient. But this is for us. I think this is the beginning of where we can have a system in place, Wendell, because in order for your country to have, you know, to have a tightened security, you need all of these things. Because if you have people fingerprints, Wendell, if you have all of their information that people cannot, you can't come and
Yeah,
lie. I already have your stuff in the system database. So once you come in and ask you for your ID card, I just need to put it in the system and
Yeah.
everything about you
Everything that
comes out.
comes out. Yeah.
So it's important. I just hope that people will give their truthful, rightful information
Oh,
because it's
you
important.
see, the thing is
but
like
if they don't give it, then they lose privileges. That's the
exactly
advantage. You give the
because
wrong
if
information, you lose
you get the
privilege.
wrong information, you get caught. So,
Let me give you one example in this America when they are.
mm,
So a lot of people during the war, when they came on resettlement, they brought their age down in this America. Some of these people in America, if they had a real age, they would have been retired and collecting retirement money and coming and sitting down in Liberia. But because they came down with lower age, they can't even make it. But they gotta still go to work. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So they
So,
pertinent. That information can hurt you one way or the other. You see?
and I will tell people when you lie to your doctor, you kill yourself
Mm,
because
Exactly.
if you go to the doctor, you're suffering from stomach pain, and you go tell the doctor, "Oh, my head is hurting." He's not going to give you stomach pain, knowing the fact that your stomach is hurting, not your head. So he gives you the head pills to take
of course.
while you're there dying from your stomach. You go and lie to your lawyer. What do you when you lie to your lawyer? You
Go to
you go to
jail.
jail.
Mhm.
So that's it. So it's not good to give wrong information. Oh yeah, it could be fine for you today, but it will catch up with you tomorrow. Like Gus is saying, when you go somewhere, you reduce your age.
Mm.
Eh? When that age time come, mama or papa, nobody will tell you. You'll say you will know that, you know, that
Can feel it.
that age really catching up with me. You think sometimes, Esther, you think sometimes to wake up from the bed in the morning, it can be easy. That's why people
but
say you
but I
gotta
leave that
do.
one for Friday.
Yeah, I tell you, that why people say you gotta do everything when you have the strength, because it will come a time you wouldn't have the strength.
Of course.
So is the ID card thing was introduced in the past. We all had our national ID card. So bringing it up, making it mandatory is a good thing. It's a good thing. But what is more important to us now as a country is this whole Supreme Court thing. We listened to Moses Sandy, the president emeritus of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the United States, in the Americas, let me put it that way, Aja, who said that the president disrespecting the courts, it shows that he is a dictator. All right. And he's calling on all Liberians. This thing in our country, this law thing, if we can't respect the law, any country that does not have regards for the rule of law, that country is bound to collapse. And for some of us that got age, we've been around, we saw all of the wars that fought in this country. Those were some of the things that led us to war, where people feel, the people felt they were left out of the process. And other people felt that, no, that's the right thing to do. So the one who are not happy, they went to the bush, they took guns. But we are not praying for us to go back to the dark days, because Mayu is going to put us back again. But the people are telling us, when you're for a war in your country, you will go back 100 years to develop that country. And we are seeing it today in our country. Everywhere you go, everything is just upside down. Nothing straight happening in the country. The country is so tough. People can get stuff to eat in the day. People struggling. And I mean, so that's why you see most of our kids are just vulnerable, because the parents, they talk. The parents don't have the hands. At the end of the day, the children, they get loose. But we need to respect the laws of our country. We need to respect the laws of our country, because what is happening in Liberia now, if we can, put a stop to it, if we cannot erect the right checkpoints to say, Mr. Bwaka or President Bwaka, you need to respect the laws of our country. We did not put you here to come and violate our laws, to disrespect our laws. So right now, Unity Party, there is a serious internal wrangling within the Unity Party. The other folks who are saying to President Bwaka, or who are saying to President Bwaka, Mr. President, we have to respect the courts. All right? We cannot disrespect the courts. While others are saying, Mr. President, do not listen. Then the man who heads the Liberia National Bar Association, who did not consult his colleagues, he came up with a unilateral decision, because it's not being backed by the LMBA. We just read from the Vice President, Councillor Joan Lawson, that she distanced herself from that assertion made by the President of the Liberia National Bar Association, who in 2017 contested on the Unity Party ticket in Bapolo County. So this man is a partisan. That statement he made does not represent the entire Liberia National Bar Association. He spoke as a partisan. He spoke as a partisan, because you listen to the Vice President. We told this man any decision must be channeled through the executive committee. But he did not listen. Now he's getting condemnation. Other people are supporting it because they are partisans, like him. So what kind of country is this? Why would Joseph Bwaka not respect the courts? Why our president will be doing this? Mr. President, some of you who are around the president that is ill-advising the president, like that chap called Buju Ben Keita. This man, seriously, I don't know why he's in the space of the president, because he's ill-advising the president. The justice minister, who is a big brother and friend of Councillor Notu Twe. I mean, Notu, man, you people hold you with high esteem in this country. So you have come into government now. You are showing us that the person who are taking you to be, you are not that type or you are not that person. Because all of us who follow the track record of the justice minister when we were growing up to present, we know this man is a man of high moral standards. But people can change. And now what's happening? People can change. This justice minister, you are one of the serious minister in any government for that matter. You are the one that can disagree and agree with the president. So you cannot be supporting these kind of things. Tell your president, Mr. President, we have to go by the courts. Because you, as the Attorney General, would sit there and allow the president to disrespect the court's ruling. Then where are we heading as a country? So this is where we are. This is where we are. Why are these people doing this to us in this country? The country is so hard. It's not easy. Everywhere you go, people crying, people struggling, people coming to work, they're receiving calls for help and all kinds of things. You just say you don't even have it, but people calling you for help. That's the kind of country we find ourselves. Everywhere is tough. Only certain people are enjoying this country, while bulk of the people are languishing in hardship every day. It's not easy in our country. Then the president is there disrespecting the rule of law. What kind of country is this? What kind of country is this? How can we move our country forward if we don't respect the organic laws of our country? How can we move forward? The justice minister, the legal advisor to the president, all of these people on Capitol Hill, they are not more than us. They're not more than Liberians. People talking about, look, we have seen protests where police were putting up white flags. The police say, I'm not part of it. I'm there to defend my country. So any good thing for Liberia, I should be a part of it. They abstain. They will put up their white flags on their guns, that they are peaceful people. They are not part of it. So no amount of intimidation or threat from the Liberian National Police should make the people out there afraid to do what they're supposed to do. The power is inherent in the people. The Constitution says that. The Constitution protects us. So if we are not happy with the way the government is proceeding, that there is a way we can channel our grievances. And how do we do it? We can peacefully assemble and protest and tell the government, you need to stop this. Well, let's stop here and take few calls because we gotta go. Esther, can we get few comments? Let's get the comment section first, and then we
Yes.
wrap up with the calls.
Right. So in the comment section, uh, we have William Saulo says, I'm watching from a comfort zone in Dolo Town, Magibi County. We have Uncle Noosh. He says, good morning, Freedom Family. My name is Nooch M. Kino, and I'm watching from Chicken Soup Factory, Zinkiam community. We have Aaron Gadi says, I'm watching from Georgia, Europe. And we have Clarence Obechi Dwyer says, Joseph Walker is a detective. There's nothing to hide. And Augustine Cleveland says, good morning, Freedom FM. I'm following you from Delaware, USA. We have Cecilia Dwyer. She says, good morning, Freedom FM. I'm watching you from Finnish Market. And we have, let's see, fighters out. We have Clarence again says, why will good people choose to spoil their parents' resources only because of Joseph Boakai? The president of the LMBA, I mean the LMB, yes, that's the LMBA, has, I think you want to say Liberian, okay, that's the Liberian National Bar Association, has lost its integrity and morals. Sometimes when you listen to people who you think could be good people in society talking foolishness, you want to wonder why God had to make you a Liberian. And then we have Benu Kamara says, good afternoon, my Freedom FM family. Thanks for the update, but our country is going down. We need to do more for our country. Clarence says we have millions of dumbfounded idiots in our society these days. Good people have lost their minds. What a shame to listen to the president of Liberian National Bar Association speaking like a farmer. Larry Tule says, I'm watching you from New Georgia Estate. Thanks. Augustine Tyler says, I'm watching you guys from Baltimore, Maryland. We have son of KOK, Isaac Woodson, following from 20th Street window. That's it.
Okay, so let's get the calls now. Let's take calls on this talking points. Those of you who are following us, those of you who are watching us, we are about to go to the phone lines, and the WhatsApp line is active. +231-886-500-104, 0776-104-104, and the female line is 0770-297-016. The WhatsApp line +231-886-500-104. The crew governor is watching. Welcome to the show. Let's take our very first caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Winner, and let me say hi to Esther Goss in the U.S. This is Edmund Carr.
Welcome, Edmund.
Yeah, you know, Winner, Liberian people, some of the Liberian people put off in this mess, and we are into it. I don't care that Donald Trump will come and give warning to the Quagga government. They will never do the right thing until something go out of hand in Liberia before Quagga will be certified. Visit his record. When he took over the UP, the insulter, Grandma Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that brought the party to relevant, they put her aside. When he took over CPP, it was the same thing. Now, he is over the country called Liberia, where he said he going to rescue, see where we are. And then people that we should be listening to, we should be depending on, we are being calling on them. That is necessary that you come out. They are not speaking, and what they are saying to us is far from reality. For the president of the Bar Association refused finally to listen to the vice president and other executive members within the Bar Association to say, hey, let me be well coordinated and say what we can say to be able to save our country. They refuse to listen, but you put us in party government to come out and tell us that the people should reconsider a decision on what they did. He failed on who? See the speaker that you want to support, the proposed speaker. He filed in for re-argument. He didn't buy that speaker. He put it out to say, Richard, go. But they say, hello. Why are you putting that speaker? The guys are aware that they are doing the wrong thing, but because they are supported by the executive, the money is coming from there today, they will continue to stagnate up. The country is stagnated. You get to town, you walk on the down street of Monrovia, and like, we are in the 1990s. The one you see is coming to you, the one you see coming to you. So the only thing that would be good for us as a refrigerator, as a creeping dictator, is to stop him. There should be a bus stop for that old man. So that we'll let you to know that Nigeria is for all of us. There is no need that we say he continue to marginalize us, he continue to suffer us, he continue to make us, to leave our own country and say we are foreigners.
Thank you.
Enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Edmund. Let's talk to this person. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
No, we have to let you go now. You call us with feedback. I one person, I can't stand feedback. So let me take this person. Hello?
Yeah, the general on the line, the feedback, the general Marcy.
So I'm a row on the ground?
Yeah, start running. Start running for that studio. I do my video with that.
Marcy, the female general. Welcome, oh.
Thank you. Madala Esther. Yeah, no window.
Your girl Joyce watching the show.
What?
I said Joyce is watching the show.
Okay. Yeah, what I want to say with them, that's rocket scientist to use the community party. That man, under the bad situation, what he did, look, he got taken to another mess. We say that they can't get it. You cannot look at the Supreme Court ruling and put it in the trash can with them. When the politics are opposed, it's very bad. They mentor the black people in this country, you will respect the rule of
Thank you, there, Ma Sisi, the talking female general. Let's talk to this person on this line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nimle.
Yes, good
And good
afternoon.
afternoon to the many listeners to your show. What caught my attention is
You didn't tell us your
my
name, sir. What is your name?
name is Peter Sai, and I join from Tokune District.
Go ahead, Peter. Let's hear you.
My attention has been drawn to the issue of the reform from the I call that institution there.
The Liberia National Bar Association president.
The National Bar Association. I on purpose, man, I don't know that, but that particular release don't seem to be from that kind of institution. We know, if we can recall when it when that the president should not submit the budget to the illegal group.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they come up at the end of the season? No. Why we need to recall budget, all the kind of complicated. No president don't for the wicked. Allow it the wrong CEO by the good rightfully. The implication of it, therefore, the court should not because they will get implication, other things, budget will be recall and whatsoever.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
These people, instead of carrying on going in the right way, they are kind of partisanship. They are trying to bring party sentiment to all aspects of government, whether by the rule of law or wherever institution that should be or faith-based institution, they are carrying on partisanship all over. So we are not going to lie. We stand by the opposition. Enough is enough.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Enough is enough. So says the caller. Let's talk to this person. Hello. Yeah, welcome to the show. Yeah. Daniel Saki, let's hear you, my brother. Welcome to the show. Thank you. That's the voice of Dada War. He's the guy representing the whole community. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Good afternoon, Winnie.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm calling you for comfort.
Is this Peter Lynn Peters?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. Let's hear you. You have a minute.
Let me say thanks for the conversation and thanks to all of the other colleagues for the discussion this afternoon. You see, I think the Liberia Bar Association has just shown to the public, not the bar, but the president, just let the public know that he is a unity partisan. Because for a whole bar president that we expect to stand by the rule of law, to come out and talk about the thing of the United Party people have been giving a riot, it's disappointing. Because when you hear many of those stupid people, the officials and stuff, some of the argument is that the budget was submitted and the illegal speaker presided over it and the judiciary received their pay and all those kind of things. These are the same arguments that they have been putting for here. But the bar president will also kind of say the same thing. So what's the difference? difference between him and United Partisan. So he just showed himself to the public, the side of the whole politics stuff. So I think member of the bar need to look at it and see how he disappointing for we the Liberian people. And last time we know before I drop it now, when it comes to the whole speaker thing, most especially Rachel Namutu, the court has ruled. And they said that everything that Rachel is doing is illegal. So what I'm expecting those people that do influence financially behind him, what I'm expecting them to do is now go to the start of a legal process, that is the legitimate speaker, and then they can follow the correct number for quorum and make it and do that. So surprising that those who are allowed themselves to be used financially and they are okay. So what exactly I think was recorded? The court has said that everything that Rachel is doing is illegal. So if you lawmaker, you are safe and Rachel and then encourage actually to come and join you, what exactly are they going to do?
Okay.
Just want to continue holding this country hostage and then things just all start down. That's how for we like.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Peter and Peters. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Thank you. Mr. Limne, a pleasant good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you. You have a minute.
Yeah, thank you. And good afternoon to those who started with the show. My name is Hussein. I'm Hussein Kew. I come from around Jacobstown in District Number 2. I listen to cross sessions of the different discussions as it relates to the happenings. So the one I have to do with the press conference that was held by the association, the Liberal National Bar Association, through its president, Councillor Babu. It beats my imagination.
It's not Babu, please. It's Vama.
Yes, Councillor. Yeah, Vama. Bono Vama. Yeah, thank you. Bono Vama, who seems to be the president of the Bar Association. So it worries me. It beats my imagination when I listen to people who are non-lawyers, not even politicians, then they want to critique lawyers who went to certain school and come up with an opinion. In fact, he is the president of that association, composing some different lawyers, magistrates, judges, even the chief justice and associate justices are members of the bar association.
So Hussein.
Yeah.
Since you're talking about he representing an institution, and the second in command that institution also said that the decision by the president does not represent the institution. That decision was unilateral. What do you make of that?
Yeah, so in that light, Mr. Limne, I think on AB show, Abraham Gosson when I asked him because he's a bigger person. AB said in his word that
Abu say you are lying on AB. AB say you're lying on him.
No, if you ask AB say a liar, I shouldn't call on your show. I think I put on the show on AB show last evening. So AB said, according to AB, there were an executive.
I mean, plenty of things you've been talking here. You can't defend when you kind of when push kind of. No, when push kind of sharp, then you will say, "Oh, there's a number consider." You not talk plenty of things here. You can't defend.
I know we can disagree, but I will not quote AB. There's also part of the show that can test that I put on AB show last evening. And AB said there were an executive meeting that they had an agreement, although there were disagreement within the executive committee, which came out with the press conference. Some members disagreed that the bar should not have come up. But majority of them agreed that.
So in essence, the decision did not represent the bar because there was views from the meeting, according to you. That some of the people said, no, we don't want that. We can't do this, and other people say we can do it. So it means that.
But what does that do with the case? What does that have anything to do with the case?
Had the press conference, they were in the numbers. So this is why they came up with the press conference. If those who disagree were not in the numbers, they would have come up.
Thank you, Hussein. Let's leave it there. No time, Hussein. Let's leave it there. We want to bring you and Mansi in the studio one day. That's all we want. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Winner.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Let's hear your name and where you calling from.
Thank you for having me. My name is Victor P. Tabo, coming to New Sergeant Play. I do join you from Patrick Sache to people South Africa.
Go ahead. You have a minute. Let's hear you quickly. No time.
Without this guy, in question, you're talking about for the bar, I don't know his president or who. This guy went in his country to go run campaign, his own name on his t-shirt, he misspelled his own name. This guy is not someone to take serious. How can you misspell your own name and such a man, Joseph Newman Brother, to take this man to be a serious man listening to this man? Sometimes I ask myself, why Joseph Brother really depends on in this country? It depends on the few industries you have, or the few police that kept launching around here, or the commandos that he took from someone home that he brought he can fight you and put fear in us. Why this old man, he depending on, I really don't know that he continues to urinate on our constitution, and those that will make the bill land people, they sit there, they drinking and whining with women Joe Beggar, and they are not seeing anything that makes sense to us. This man go here, who can't they go run campaign, he do nothing there, he is not saying who need, he said that these are the people who graduated from school that jump from class to class to class to class. Today he got himself a lawyer or what, that guy letting him be revoked.
Okay.
He's not coming back to become a lawyer, he just got the ain't in the school, then he starts to say, the production is not good, is that right? First time that I can take it serious.
Thank you. We cannot take such persons serious. All right, so folks, we got to go. We don't have time in our favor, so let's get to Gus to take a few seconds to close up.
Yeah, thank you, Wendell. Again, this is why those kind of statements are meant for them to be discussed. I mean, a man ain't paying for our airtime. I don't even try to discuss guys like that because there is no reputable anything that we even care about what he said, because what he said has no bearing on the case. It has no indication on even his aptitude. You know, like many people have stated. I mean, you cannot be sound-minded and make a statement that he made, because those statements really did not. It had nothing to do with anything but just the abuse of the court. That's all he did. So, but on the national ID card thing, again, Hussein, see, some of you young people are so bad in the sense of not thinking about your future. You're going to come on here. I didn't hear you once discuss the issue of the national ID card. But all you did was just try to discuss a man that made a statement against the Supreme Court. A young man that still has probably 30, 40, 50, 60 years left on this earth. And in this Liberia that you're going to live in. And the thing that matters, you don't even propagate, but you'd rather defend to tell us everything we need to know about our country. Because we only like wahala. We only like argument. We only like anything that is that will bring some kind of arguments amongst ourselves. Because when it has to do with development, it's not an enjoyable topic. Because we don't get our 1 cent, 2 cent from our people that can pay us. But in the end, Hussein, you should be propagating the fact that the president passed a executive order to make sure every human being in that country is given the opportunity to be counted. Thank you, Wendell.
Thank you very much. That's the voice of Gus Koma. And folks, that's all the time we've got to be with you on this edition of the Print News. This is the 30th of April, 2025. Tomorrow we'll be here with the Thursday edition, and that's where we allow you to set the agenda. And you can join us then tomorrow for a brand new presentation of the Print News. My name is Wendell Esther Daku was here.